Welcome to Adventures into the Unknown. In today's adventure, we are hiking back up over this ridge line to a semicircle structure that I spotted on Google Earth. So with that being said, let the adventure begin. All right, we have reached the point that is as far as we can drive, and we are actually headed up to the top of this peak here, kind of in this saddle. And so we will walk the dirt road for a ways and then start trekking up. Alright, so our destination is at the tip of that little ridge up there. There are no trails, so we're trying to find the best route to get up there. I think it's going to be somewhere through here to the saddle and then up on the ridge. We'll see. Alright, so we came out of the creek bed that's back down here. We've scrambled our way up so far, and there is our target right there. That is what we're shooting for. That is where I saw the structure, semicircle structure on Google Earth. So we still have a whole lot of bushwhacking to go. Alright, I'm sure this doesn't show very well on camera, but we need to get across this ravine to head up towards our target up there. We could do it further up. Our original goal was back down here, but dog is off the chain, walking around, and Katana doesn't play well with others. So we had to take a longer route. And now we're deciding at what point do we want to cross this ravine. Maybe we hike up to here and across, but that looks pretty rugged. Where this looks like a pretty flat, relatively flat way to go. I guess we just gotta start trekking. Alright, so that was not fun. We bushwhacked down from up there, through those bushes. If you're not familiar with Arizona, everything has thorns on them. We made it through. Now we just need to work our way back up out of this ravine. Our target again is back up here. Alright, so we've made it out of the ravine way back down there. We have literally bushwhacked our way out to kind of this little plateau before our final push up to the summit there. And it's quite a push. There's a false summit that you can't see. We'll have to go down and then up. So I guess we best get hiking. Alright, we still have to get up to the top of that little ridge, but we have spotted our first piece of pottery, and it actually has a little bit of a curve to it. So I have a good idea what that semicircle of stones are going to be. So for those of you who don't know, Katana is part cow dog, Australian cattle dog, and I guess that makes her think she's part cow because she's eating the grass as we walk up the hill here. Alright, so we've been trekking up the hill. We have made it to the false summit, and our target is going to be on the backside of that ridge there. So now the question is, do we try going around the backside this way or around the backside over on that side? What we're looking for is on the other side. So I know we can't go straight up over the top. I mean, we could, but I prefer not to. So we're going to need to make a decision. Alright, so we decided to go around the right side of the ridge line, and we're having to scramble over these rocks. Not sure that was the best decision. Maybe we should have gone that way. We're committed now. Alright, so we parked way back here where that cloud shadow is on the road. We then walked down this creek and then started our scramble up. That is the false peak that we scrambled up to. We are so close now. We can taste it. But can't we, Katana? And there might actually be some petroglyphs on this rock face. Hard to say, but we're just about there. All right, we're close. We just need to get around the corner there and up over the ridgeline, and we're there. So Katana's ready. She's gonna take the rare lead, maybe. Somewhere she doesn't actually know she's going. She rarely leads, but she is ready to make it to the top here. We're getting close. Well, it looks like we may have cliffed out over here on the right side. We may end up having to go back if we can't find a way through here. Because we're not going to be able to go down that way. Although I think it goes up. I'm not sure what's on the other side of this little cliff here. So, let's see if we can get through there. Good sign. Those banana yucca do mean more than likely people were here. Ancient people. So we'll check back in once we figure out where we're going. Alright, so there's an option of climbing through this chute, but I'm not sure that's going to take us up and over. What do you think, Katana? Good girl. Now, can we get through there? Nope. Still not there. That might have been for naught. Maybe up through here? I don't know. Come on, Katana. All right, that was not easy going. But now I think we can get around that ledge there, hopefully. Let's do it. All right, so we're just about there. I'm pretty sure just over this ridge, I really hope, is the last bit. Needless to say, that was pretty intense. Climbing over this little ridge here was a little more than I bargained for, especially with Katana anchored onto me. But over that side is clear drop off. That took it out of us. We've only gone about 1.5 miles. It took 2 hours. Part of that was route finding, rock climbing. But we're there, I think, I hope. Oh yes, we made it. Right back there is the beginning of stacked rocks. I cannot begin to tell you how relieved I am to see these stacked rocks back here after scrambling up this cliffside. Wow. Up on this peak top. Let me tell you, no one's coming up this side without taking a lot of effort, and you're gonna have a lot of time to throw spears or rocks at them. I can speak from personal experience. You do not want to approach this from this open side. It's sheer cliff. I can see why they built this here. So Katana and I actually climbed up through here, up to the top. And now we've made it to this, might be like a half circle, or maybe even a 3/4 circle. But I can tell you the easy way down is going to be that way. And that's why they have the rock wall built up there. That was to block anybody coming this way, because nobody in their right mind is coming this way. Which of course is the way Katana and I decided to come up. Straight up the cliff into this great structure. Look at this little saguaro. Might be a barrel cactus, but it might be a little baby saguaro growing up inside of this structure. That is kind of cool. I would love to see this in about 100 years, full grown, and this wall structure still standing. How cool would that be? What do you think, Katana? I can't imagine how much work went into collecting and stacking all of these stones. I mean, this is a pretty good sized enclosure. Oh, it looks like there's like a little room there as well, maybe a little defensive room with kind of a lookout through there. You could sit up here quite easily and look over the edge. And they built this up pretty thick right there. Look at how thick that is. That's 3 or 4 feet thick. Right up to the cliff. That, of course, Katana and I decided would be the easiest way up. So if you plan to attack this site from this side, you look like you have a nice little valley to cross. They're going to see you coming. They will definitely see you coming before you get to the wall. These look like a couple more little spots for storage. What's interesting, we've not seen a whole lot of pottery inside the structure. We saw some on the way up, not a lot, but there's not really any pottery inside the structure. I suppose maybe it got looted already. Hard to say. She's not the smartest dog, but she's my dog. We've just been hanging out inside this rock structure. taking it all in. This must have been one heck of a project to build all this. And a lot of the sites we go to, each one seems to have its own vibe. This one including, it has its own vibe. More of security, I would say. But it might be different for you. And that's why you got to get your boots on the ground and check these things out. Video doesn't do them justice. And you certainly can't pick up the vibes from YouTube. We do our best. We hope you enjoyed the videos. If you do us a favor, spike a like. Maybe drop a comment down below. Shoot that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos. And until next time, seek and enjoy. See ya. Well, it looks like the rain clouds are moving in. So we are definitely want to get off of this hill and these rocks before they get wet. And we have to go all the way back down here. So I suppose we better get to it.